Hey everybody, Shane here, Shoebox Legends. Thanks for stopping by for a COMC rummage today. Don't really have time to get into much else, so just gonna pick at random for about 10 minutes and see what I've picked up over time on this addicting hobby website. And we start with this great 2020 3D Wan SoDo. Man, this is cool. I've really been in the last year or two trying to focus on getting some of these. Especially since they're now done as a set. They produced these from 2018 through 2022, so they had a 5-year run. So certain players, I'm trying to track down all 5 cards of theirs, if they exist, or however many do exist, and try to complete their Topps 3D runs. So pretty cool. Wan SoDo here, coming off the World Series win in 2019. That's a great 3D card. Love, love, love that card. And how about a Machiavelli buyback? So we saw in a recent rummage, we saw a Mr. T buyback, and now we have Machiavelli. Just, I don't know, I love these non-sport subjects from Allen and Ginter, and getting them in buyback format is great. So we have a philosopher and writer here, so that's awesome. I have a couple more non-sport buybacks like that, I think hiding out somewhere in this box. And wow, I don't know if it came across on video, but this card is incredibly thin and transparent. This is a Nomar Garciapar from Crown Royal 2000, but it's some type of acetate parallel. And it honestly feels like a piece of film or something very, very delicate, but pliable. It doesn't really feel like it's going to crease at all. It weighs nothing. I mean, this could blow away in the wind. I'm not really sure how I ended up with that. I don't remember picking it up, but there you go. Another very, very random Nomar card. And I pulled 2 here by mistake, so we'll stick with it because they are from the same set, the 1955 Bowman Football release. Raise your hand if you thought we were going to see vintage football on today's rummage, but we've got Dorn Dibble. Can't believe that's a human being's name, and John Hoffman on the right. And I don't know anything. I would be lying to you if I said I knew anything about either of these guys. I just really dig this set. I love the simple design and the angelic glow behind the players and the team logos as well. Check out that Lions logo. It's like a guy riding a lion. Pretty wild. And then we've got a dancing bear for the Chicago Bears. So dig these. You could regularly find these for like $1, maybe less than $1 in this type of condition on COMC. So I've grabbed quite a few. I think the checklist is relatively small, so I might actually try to complete this. These are beat up on the back. I'm really not a football guy. This is just a, for fun bargain pickup type project. Probably don't need another project like that, and I'll be honest, haven't really added to that in quite some time, but there are 2 more anyway to get me a little bit closer. Here's a cool one from the only Panini Prism standalone hockey set that came out before they lost their license. Check out the etching on this card. Look at that Panthers logo. So they are the most recent Stanley Cup champions. In fact, just raised the banner down in Sunrise, Florida, maybe a week or 2 ago. But what's cool about this one, Tim Thomas was the longtime Bruins netminder who absolutely stood on his head, Dominic Hasek style, back in 2011 and led the team to a Stanley Cup championship, their only championship during my lifetime as a fan. So pretty cool, and love Tim Thomas. I think he's a little bit of an odd guy in real life, but was a spectacular netminder with a very odd way of playing, but just made some saves that were breathtaking. If you go back and look at highlights from the Bruins 2011 Stanley Cup run, you will see some saves that he made that were just honestly mind-blowing. So love that. Tim Thomas Prism Silver. Really cool card there. Random one to have pop out of the box. A lot of these, again, bought a long time ago. This one is great. An Upper Deck Exclusives Teemu Salan. And the lighting in here, it's very bright in here today, so the rainbow foil isn't coming across. That's a little bit better, but beautiful rainbow foil on these exclusives parallels, and the player name there down below. Numbered to 100. Feel like I pull one of these almost every time I rummage through this box. I bet I paid $10 for this. because this is back from, again, the rainbow foil era. The nicest looking exclusives that they've done in the 25-year run now of this parallel. But Salan was a beast, and happy to have that. So some good hockey representation coming out of the box today. And we have another exclusives. Third straight hockey card, I think, here. Brad Marshon for the Boston Bruins, a player that everybody loves to hate. He's definitely plays on the line, but is also a highly talented offensive player as well. So I do think he may get in the Hall of Fame someday if his antics and reputation don't keep him out. But just a cheap pickup there. Got another hockey card. We're on fire here, and it's one that's come out of this box probably a dozen times. I'm a big believer in this canvas card featuring Connor McDavid and Sidney Crosby, arguably the best two 21st century NHL players. They're both in the top 5, I think, by anybody's account. And I love them squaring off on this. So I used to pick, when these were under $10, I would pick up, quite a few copies. It's a card that I have a good long-term belief in. So I've probably grabbed double-digit number of that particular McDavid card at this point. Let's go to the left portion of the box here. And we've got another McDavid, back-to-back Connors. This is an O-Pee-Chee Platinum Rainbow, which is basically akin to a Topps Chrome Refractor in the world of baseball cards. But a sneaky good McDavid, because this is a second-year Connor McDavid. Of course, he and the Oilers got all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals last year before ultimately falling short. So we'll see how they can do. They're off to a little bit of a rough start, a couple games in as I film this, but long season ahead. I pulled 2 here by mistake. Let's stick with it. And the first one is a modern basketball card. So we had vintage football and now modern basketball with this beautiful upper deck Michael Jordan. Love MJ. As somebody who grew up as a kid in the late 80s and through the 90s, it was impossible not to be enamored by this guy, regardless of whether you were a basketball fan or not. And so this was just a under $1 base card upper deck pickup that'll go into my small basketball card Z-Folio. Great jumper on the back there. Classic upper deck hologram. I love the hoop and the backboard with the card number in it. Just really, really cool. You don't need to be a millionaire to collect Michael Jordan. You certainly could spend $1 million on Michael Jordan cards pretty easily, but for $1, that one's good for me. And then how about Luca Modric here on the UEFA Champions League? This is like a pink wave refractor of some sort. Card that, I'll be honest, I probably wouldn't buy today, but nonetheless will make a solid addition to my soccer card Z-Folio. So some of the lesser represented sports and even some non-sport getting some love today. But we're going to go back to baseball next with that glorious Runnin' Redlegs logo. Bob Borkowski on the 1955 Topps baseball design. Great shot there with the Reds. Love the yellow in the background. The contrast between the yellow background and that blue cap, just amazing. And the latest as I march slowly on my way towards, maybe an eventual 1955 Topps baseball set. And why not? We've had just about everything else today. Covered the 5 major sports and some non-sports. So let's go with a Star Wars card from the inaugural Star Wars set. May the Force be with you, featuring Luke Skywalker, card number 63. These blue borders are just fantastic. These represent the first series in that 1977 Star Wars release. His individual card, Luke Skywalker's, at the beginning of the checklist is quite pricey. But 60 cards later down the checklist, this is still a very iconic card to me. May the Force be with you. A saying that is part of, just become a cultural phenomenon, really. And so really, really happy to have that one. It's dirt cheap. You can find these for pocket change, but great vintage Star Wars pickup there. And how about a modern baseball card next from 2020 Stadium Club Chrome? Check out this Miguel Cabrera X-Fractor. Great shot there of Miggy. Somebody who's just, 3,000 hit club, does not get a lot of hobby love, even now that he's retired. Maybe when he gets enshrined, that'll give him a little bit of a bump, but cool, very, very cheaply acquired. Miggy there. Honestly, almost every card in this box was dirt cheap. And we'll finish with this one today. This is pretty wild if you don't know the backstory on this. I became aware of this due to a comment that a friend of mine left maybe a year or two ago, longer even, here on the channel. This is Bart Hull, and he is the sibling, the brother of NHL great Brett Hull. And this is an all-world CFL card, Canadian Football League. Love the Canadian flag motif going on there. And I never knew prior to that Bart Hull played in the Canadian Football League. I had no clue. Here's a look at the back for the Ottawa Rough Riders. And making this card even cooler, he's wearing a t-shirt on the back of his father, Bobby Hull, the Golden Jet. So that is a really, really awesome football card. You can get one of these for under $1, I'm pretty confident, but love the randomness there. And that's kind of the perfect cap on a little rummage here where we saw baseball, basketball, football, hockey, soccer, and then even some non-sport in the form of Star Wars and a philosopher of all things. So thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate your time. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed going through the cards, and I'll be back soon with some more content. Enjoy the hobby, everybody. See ya.